Hello, this is Fred, FR5ED, here with the beer review. And it's going to be a little different today in that I'm adding a step. Shouldn't call it a step. I'm adding a feature to one of the steps. And I may not do this every time, but I'm going to do it this time. And that is to examine the color of the beer, not just call it amber or honey or straw or anything like that. Although that's still a good subjective way of doing it. But BJCP, I believe it is, the beer judge, let me look, the beer judge style guidelines, they have certain color ranges that are considered normal for the different styles of beer. And it's using the SRM, standard reference measurement, I think is what SRM stands for. And there's a number range, and I have a tool. I have a couple of tools that I'll show you during this review. So anyway, first of all, let's talk about the beer that's going to be reviewed, and then we'll look at, when we do appearance and talk about color, I'll show you these two tools, both available to you. One of them is an actual tool that is used by beer judges, and the other is more of a novelty. I don't think it's something that you would really want to use because you're using your monitor, and your monitor would need to be calibrated, etc. And although I do have a calibrated monitor, it'll be interesting to see how close these come out. I have not used either of these tools before. This is a first. So let's get to the actual beer we're reviewing. This is Terrapin Hop Selection, and it's from their Monster Beer Tour. This is also known as Ella. It uses a single source of hops, and it's Ella hops. And it says it's from... hops are from Australia. The flavor and aroma that they're saying that we should experience include floral, subtle spice, tropical, and talks about the alpha acids, etc. So we're not going to go into all that. It is, as far as ABV, according to Rate Beer, it says that it is, where did it go? 8.4%. It wrapped to the other line. And I think I saw the same thing on Beer Advocate. Let's see what the bottle says. There it is. And the bottle says 8.6%. So it is an Imperial IPA. And let's just read quickly about it. We're going to read real quickly because there's no description except replacing Hopzilla in the Monster Beer Tour. Oh, I love Hopzilla. I was hoping to see it again. So this is a replacement. This double IPA will feature a new and unique hop every year. So anyway, the ratings on this, there were only 22 ratings so far. It's that new. And this is on Rate Beer. They rated an 87 overall and a 44 in style. And that's, again, after only 22 reviews. Over on Beer Advocate, there have been 43 ratings, and they give it an 86, which is very good. And that's about all we have on it. So let's open it, let's pour it, and let's introduce our new step. All right, here's the pour. Now, as we look at the color, we'll look at the head and the clarity and things like that. And when it comes to the color, I'll tell you a little bit more about SRM and which numbers we expect to see an IPA or an Imperial IPA. It's very clear. That's very easy to see. Maybe even on the camera, you can see me through that. It's so clear. Decent carbonation, got a 2-finger, fairly dense, medium dense head on there. Now, normally I would look at that, and based on the light that I have, I would say that is a light orange, dark honey, almost coppery, slightly coppery color. But that's all very subjective. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm flipping over to a particular tool on the screen. I'll show you that in a moment. But first, I have a new tool from Beer Color Laboratories, I believe it's called. I think they're at beercolorlab.com. I'll have to look it back up. Oh, here it is, beercolor.com. Anyway, this is a tool that a lot of beer judges apparently use too. It's clear, which is why I'm holding it against a white backdrop. All right, and now what they say to do is to hold the beer up to this and slide it until you see a matching color. Now this is not going to work on the screen, I'm sure. But I'm going to here slide across until I think I'm matching. I'm about between 12 and 14, I'm going to say. I'm getting somewhere between 12 and 14 for this SRM number. And you can see the number scale across there. Okay, so between 12 and 14, and what does BJCP say the normal range is for that? For an Imperial IPA, it says that the SRM should be between 8 and 15. A regular IPA should run between 6 and 15, roughly. You know, they're not holding fast to that, I don't think. But that's the range. So that makes sense that this fell at 12 to 14. It's towards the darker end of the spectrum. So anyway, now the other tool is, let me get back to it, is this. This is a color beer color meter. This is a Windows app. Is it a Windows app or a Chrome app? I think it's a Windows app. Anyway, you know, Windows 8.1. So what this has is a color here and a cutout of a glass. And watch, when I run my cursor over here, you can see how it changes colors. Now, I said this monitor is calibrated and it's a graphics monitor, but it hasn't been calibrated in a couple of months. So let's just see how this is going to work. You hold your glass up here into the white space and start sliding until it looks like it matches. Oh, that's not even the same color, and it's hard to, and you've got light shining through the glass making it glow, so that's making it even tougher. Now it's showing 17, let's see if that's hard to call. There's 15 SRM according to this. That's hard to call because the screen is not as bright as the glass is with the light coming through it. I almost want to pull it down so the light's not shining through it and see what that does. Well, so, you know, say 16. Obviously this is a novelty, but it is clever. It is fun. I would never, no beer judge would use this, I'm certain. So, but that, ooh, I can smell it. We'll have to talk about aroma next. But anyway, just wanted to show you this tool as well. So look for beer color meter as far as Windows apps. Okay, let's get down to the rest of our analysis here. That's got a very potent, it's somewhat familiar and somewhat unfamiliar. There's still fruit and floral. I forgot what they said, something about subtle spice. There's something, I want to call it a heavier smell in there. Maybe a little earthy and heavy. It does have a good juicy Imperial IPA aroma. That's a combination of the malts and a combination, it went along with, you know, the good fruit, the melon, pineapple-y fruit. Probably some citrus back there. Definitely floral. I don't know what kind of flower, but I see what they mean by floral. And something else. I don't know why I call it a heavy aroma. I just can't identify it, but it smells interesting. Let's give this a taste. That's just the first sip. I like it so far. It's not totally dry. There is some sweetness to it. It's mostly dry, good hop bitterness, and yet it's not all about the bitterness. There's a good complexity to it. Mouthfeel is more than medium. It leans towards the heavier side. Yeah, there's definitely some hop or some sweetness to this, leaning more towards the dry side than the sweet side, but there's definitely more sweetness than a lot of Imperial IPAs have. I like this. Not sure why the low ratings. There are only 22 ratings there on Rate Beer that gave it a 44 overall. I don't get that. Or 44 in style, I guess it was. I find that pretty nice. I mean, there's other double IPAs I like better, certainly. But there are some I've had that I wouldn't get again. I would definitely get this again, except for the fact that it's pretty darn expensive. As I recall, this was maybe $15 for the 4-pack, as I recall, and that might be in line with what the Hopzilla was. So anyway, I do like this. Hope you enjoyed the new beer color assessment. We may use that again in a few more reviews. We'll see if it's a little less tedious the next time. I won't do all the explaining. I'll just go ahead and use it. But anyway, this is Terrapin, the Monster Beer Tour Hop Selection IPA. And for this year, it's the Ella hops from Australia. That's the beer. This is Fred, FR5ED, over and out.